Hello, everybody. This is Jay Takashi here to bring you guys another discussion, but also we're going to be talking about the Prince of Egypt discussion tonight. And like I said, I'm going to give you my thoughts and also what messages and what honestly what emotions and feelings I got from this particular type of medium that I watched. And then anybody who wants to come on up to actually share and talk and discuss about this, you're welcome to come on up. But other than that, guys, let's get into the intro, and then we'll get this started right away. All right. You know how we do, guys. From 5 to 1 in Japanese, and go, yon, san, ni, ichi, zero, ikso.
Rella woman.
Okay, guys, I'm going to put the link in the chat, guys, and we're going to get started. So give me a second. And Wally, be sure to spread the link around, brother. Yeah, guys, like I said, no hat tonight. Hoodie, but that's about it. Guys, give me a second in my water, and then we're going to get right into this. Give me a second. Sorry, but I need this, man. Here we go. So we mean in French Alps. That's the water of the choice tonight. Okay. Okay, guys, so let's get into this. So as you guys all well know, Prince of Egypt literally is a telling of the Exodus storyline from the Bible. You know, it's based on, you know, the pharaohs of Egypt who enslaved the Hebrews, and literally that literally enslaved them, and were forced to build their monuments and hard labor until they died and passed on. So with this particular medium, we have so Prince of Egypt was literally produced by Dreamworks production right there, and they had an amazing cast of people to. I got you. They had an amazing cast of people to come in to do the voices for Moses, Ramesses, Miriam. I forget the brother's name, guys. Not Ramesses, the other one, his actual brother. But like I said, they got an amazing voice cast for this particular movie, and I would never think Sandra Bullock would sound amazing as she does. And like, I don't even hear Sandra Bullock. I hear somebody else. It's like I don't know. Like I hear her sister's voice when she speaks. But you know, like the subtle, gentle tones of each of these characters, how they speak, how they walk, how they convey themselves, how you can literally describe the telling of like the suffering by off their voices is really ingenious and very talented, and it can really entice you whenever you're watching it. Hello, hold on, guys. Devino, what's up? Nice to have you, brother. I think you're new to my channel. Hopefully you're a subscriber and everything, man. Thank you for showing up in the chat, bro. If you want to come on up, you're welcome to. And I want to hear your thoughts on this movie and what you think too, brother. Brother Von Bryant. You're welcome to come up too. Like I said, I'm gonna get into a few other things, and then you guys are gonna be welcome to come up. So, you know, you're welcome to come in a little bit early. I'll have you in the back. But just, you know, I'm gonna get into a couple of things real quick, and I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna let you guys come on up. So guys, back to what I was saying. Like I said, the voice cast is amazing. So let's get into the music. I think the music. This one is, it's very, very gravitas with how which is some sense it's gospel but sad when it comes to deliver us. And it's really literally the Hebrews literally asking, you know, deliver us away from here, you know, take us to a better land than where we are right now. You know, we believe in our Lord Christ and Savior, you know, the one that we worship every day, to like help us get through this, to actually be in a better place. And that's the very beginning of the movie, literally, when the verse plays. But I do want to get into, you know, specific songs that have a lot of meaning in there, but also what I felt from it when I listened to it, because there's two that I love. And particularly they're the ones that are, it's like, it's Moses where he starts off, and then it's Moses where he ends up becoming a shepherd. You know, one where the song where he says he's the Prince of Egypt. I love that one because, you know, he's conflicted at this point in time. He's really conflicted about who he is and where he comes from, but also he's fighting the urge of who he is. You know, that he is Hebrew. Once he realizes the truth and everything, and when he sings, "I'm a Prince of Egypt," I love that shit. I love that a lot. I really love how he is really conveying his conflict, his conviction, and his. I said his conviction to his confliction is done well in the song, because he's literally showing us, like, no, I was born a Prince of Egypt. I'm not who these people say I am. I'm not any of that. Ramesses is my brother. The Pharaoh's my father. And you know, Pharaoh's wife is my mom, is my mother. And it's like, this is where I belong. I have everything I ever wanted. I'm still conflicted, regardless of anything. And it really leads up to the way where, like, you feel his pain, but you feel like he doesn't know what to do. And he's so much into a corner right now, and so he actually goes down to the actual sacred halls, and he sees what he actually sees, like the actual paintings of what they did to the Hebrew children and things like that. You know, feeding them to the gators and shit like that. It's crazy. And once he realizes that, he runs away. You know, like I said, he discovers the truth. And really talks to his father, and he really nods on his father, like has his head on the wall, like, "Father, you didn't do this, did you?" I'm like, "Please don't tell me you did this." And it hurts him, because it's like, there's no way you could have possibly done this. Like, it's one thing I was insensitive to these people being enslaved and things like this, but it's another thing where you take their children and you throw them out. You throw them out into the river for them to be eaten by, like, you know, animals, for them never to be seen again. And it's just like, it's a really haunting realization to come to. So I always, that always gets me when it comes to whenever I watch this movie, where it's like, yes, everything you ever think you believed in is a lie. And the person who you call father is not the person you think he is. Because they're not your people. Not to be disrespectful, but more often than not, they're not his people. Based on the story of everything. But so like I said, so he sees so Moses, he goes out there, he meets up with Ramesses. He goes, and guys, I kind of skipped over a little bit of the story, guys, but I do want you to let me go back to something important. I'm sorry. Let's skip the really important vital thing. I do love the chemistry between Ramesses and Moses in the very beginning of the first part of the movie, because it shows you how close they are, how they are really, really brothers, even though they come from different places, and even though they were raised together. Because like I said, Moses is Hebrew, Ramesses is Egyptian, and he has a higher calling and a duty to his father Pharaoh. I think it's Pharaoh the Third. I can forget what he called, but he has a bigger, he has a bigger duty, and it's more so he cannot have friends, but he has Moses next to him, and Moses is his brother, and he does need him. So I will say this, which is why I love this story a lot when it comes to brotherhood, and also how brotherhood can also be tested, and bonds can be broken towards other people, which is why these themes exist. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Which is why these themes exist within the story. So, like I said, they pretty much have each other's backs more often than not. Like Ramesses wicked, and you notice in the beginning of the movie where they're racing. They're racing with horses. When Pharaoh's trying to have his statue built, and his face, his resemblance on top of an actual pyramid and things like that. His statues and things like that. Like they're trying to build, he built a monument of him, and then they race, they cause a bunch of destruction and havoc and things like that. And then he says, they will get in trouble for this? Of course not. And it's like, no, they do get in trouble. Everybody has that brother that gets them in trouble, but you still love your brother regardless. And Moses, Moses stands up for Ramesses, even though he knows he's at fault. Even though the Pharaoh says he can't be distracted even by you, son. And then Moses says, I know he'll stand up. I know he'll rise up to he'll rise up to who he's supposed to be. You just have to give him a chance to really show himself. And then Pharaoh says, I will think on this. So you may leave me and things like that. Which really shows that, like, despite we know how the story ends between the two of them, but where they start, I really do love the chemistry they have, the love they have for one another. Ramesses stands up for him. Like, that's real brotherhood in of itself that I really love. And that's kind of like where, I got why I love brotherhood so much, because it can be a powerful force, as I've said before many, many times on this channel, depending on the bonds of who you share with, and also who's been with you for the longest. Like I said, would be a brother or sister or things like that. But when it comes to, like, two young brothers who enjoy each other's company, but also who are literally there for each other through thick and thin and through the hard times, are truly brothers. And that's really what they were. Like, that showed me, even though we don't see too much of it, we see enough of it to know that they are close. And guys, I'm gonna stop here when it comes to Moses and Ramesses, and then we're gonna get back into the discussion more often than not. Well, not a discussion. We're gonna get into the actual talk of it all when it comes to Moses leaving finally. So Moses, kills a fellow kid. Ends the life of a particular of an Egyptian, I would say, slaver, who was certainly a Hebrew man. When he could no longer stand him getting whipped, he runs into him and pushes him off the, off the ledge, and he falls to to the end of his life. I'm sorry. I have to dance around being dead and stuff like that. I'm sorry. But yeah, he like I said, he falls off, dies, and then Moses, shocked about what he's done, has to run away. And Ramesses comes to him and says, I can fix it. We can fix this, son. I mean, not son, but we can fix this, Moses. Like, seriously. And it's like, you can't. It's like, you can't fix what I've done. I just took a man's life, literally. And and he really feels guilty and hurt by what he did. But just as much as he saw that guy get pushed, he just feels more responsible that he took a man's life. And with that, so he leaves him. He leaves Ramesses, and even though Ramesses really is willing to try to fix things up, he literally tells him he literally tells him that everything I know is a lie, and he tells him, go to the man I want as father. And then he leaves and says, and then Ramesses tries to call out to him again, and he says, like, I'm sorry, brother, goodbye. And it's literally one of the most heartbreaking scenes. One of the most heartbreaking scenes in the beginning of the movie, where you have this, like I said, you have this tie and bond that these two had, and it was so easily severed by Moses learning the truth, but also him taking a man's life and understanding that he can never show his face back here again after what he's done. And so, he sets out to the desert. He meets these group of people. Well, he saves these group of girls, which is his soon-to-be wife, her family. And so he saves them. And then, he falls in a well, and the lady, the quote-unquote, that he met at the beginning of the movie, that was set up to be for him, he meets her again, and he meets her family. And another one of my favorite songs plays when they say, what it's called, "Look at Your Life Through Heaven's Eyes." Love that song. And this is when I was and guys, I want you to really understand, when I was a Christian, these songs really hit for me more, because I am former Christian, and I think they still, and the thing is, the feelings and the emotions I get when I listen to these songs, they still hit. They're still there, because they have a lot of emotion. They have a lot of, like I said, they have a means of really making you feel something for this, like, literally. And guys, I'm talking about how man really deals with stuff, like when he hears things like this, they can really make him happy. This is the one of the songs that actually made me happy, literally. And Moses, he comes and talks to these people, his soon-to-be wife's father, and says, like, I've never done anything worth of, like, hard work and valor. So I wish you wouldn't say that, because it's not true of me. And Moses really humbling himself here, because he's never done any type of hard work in his life, more often than not, because of the circumstances of his birth and who he was raised by. And so he learns from these people. He learns to be a shepherd, and he ends up marrying a woman at the very beginning of the movie to be his wife, and he's one hell of a great shepherd, like literally, to the point where he's literally, like, laying with the animals. He's literally being the shepherd, the guy the sheep every day. He's putting in the work. He learns to dance finally after all this time, and trust me, he's just so happy, literally. And it really shows you the trials and tribulations that a man will have to go through. Not to woo a woman, but also to know where his path is, and where is that going to lead to. But this is just a part of what he's supposed to do. So, like, I would say a quarter of what he's meant to do. There's greater things. There's greater things that come into this particular life that he's attained and loved. Like, he's loved. He likes it. And he's so immersed into what these people have really showed him and allowed him to be. And like I said, he makes one great of a shepherd. Honestly, the sheep love him. So does his wife. And God called, and and everybody knows, like I said, we know how the story goes. So when the sheets leads Moses astray to a different path, and then he literally comes upon one of God, technically God talking to him through this actual fire, like living different type of fire, and he literally speaks to him like, you need to go, Moses, you need to go back, you have a duty to fulfill, you have to go back down, you have to go back to those people to help to set them free. And he says, take the staff, and with it you shall produce all my wonders. And he says, you won't be alone when I go back. And Moses says, like, I was their enemy. I'm like, well, who am I to lead these people and things like that? And God literally that shouts at him, but literally proclaims, like, no, listen. He says, I will be there with you. No one, trust me. I will be there with you to produce those wonders. So you won't be by yourself. Which I really love that personally, because it really shows you that, like, even though we as people do so many different things, and I know this is true of me too, I really go through the idea and thoughts that I can't do these things by myself. Somebody had to be looking out for me and helping me out. Like I'm not alone. I have somebody with me. Now, when I decide to go back to the, being a Christian and things like that, following the faith again, that's my choice. But just a little side note, something, a little tidbit. But it's going to be something to be said about, like, somebody who, like I said, who's done all these, who led this former life, who's found some happiness, has to go and do this duty that is needed of them to stop people of his origin from being enslaved and being hurt, and setting them free. And personally, I resonate with that because no one, to me, in my mind, not just slavery in general is wrong, but the enslavement of any type of person, whether it be black, white, Indonesian, Hispanic, Asian, any culture, any type of slavery is just terrible to me in general. And no one should be in freaking chains. Hence why I think Prince of Egypt really touches up on that really thoroughly to get everything right about, like, people should be free and not in chains. Hence, and guys, I don't want to bring up Spartacus, but that's why I love Spartacus, because of what he stood for and what he was. But so Moses gets the message, and he has to go back. So I actually don't know the place they are, but they go back to Egypt. So like I said, they go back to Egypt, and he has to go back and free those people, his people. And I tell you, when this is actually where things get heavy a little bit before the plagues come in, and he proclaims to Ramesses, like, God, he said, God has talked to me, and he demands that you let his people go. And they had a little brief moment where they, like, it's like they're their brothers for like a brief second, like this love that we still have for one another, not intimate love, guys, but like this brotherly love that we have, romance and shit like that, like, yeah, it's still there a little bit, but it's temporary and momentary. Because it was good because we hadn't seen each other in so long. Ramesses was going to make him Prince of Egypt again. He's like, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. And he says, in my heart, you are my brother, but it cannot be this. But things cannot be the same way it was. Hence why I said earlier, where he says, God, has demands that you let his people go. And through there, Ramesses is like just one of Moses' jokes, where it's just like, he jokes around, he's just joking. This is just right. This is just Moses. You're like, okay, okay, well, I'll play along. This is good. And they, the whole thematical people who think they can do magic and just be funny and stuff like that. It's like whatever. And then after that, him and Ramesses have a talk, and he literally says, like, I can no longer stand by here while my people, are enslaved to you, and I have to let them go. like you have to let them go. And honestly, this is where Ramesses really is hurt, but also at the same time knows he has a duty as a pharaoh of Egypt to be like, no, I know not this God you speak of. And he says, I will not be the weak link. And like I said, he doesn't see reason with Moses. So this what leads down God coming down and helping out Moses and him creating the wonders that I say wonders, but also bringing down the plagues that need to come down to convince Pharaoh to let the Hebrews go. And trust me, plagues that come down are wild. we have the locusts, we have the frogs, we have the water being turned into blood, literally. I think Exodus might have done maybe a little bit better of a job more often than not when it came to that particular one, because people were getting bitten in the blood and the whole water was turning into blood. I was like, it looked really, really real. But yeah, trust me, they're horrific. Plagues, literally. The locusts is probably the most horrifying one. And also, you had the one that was raining down fire. It was just wow, crazy. And of course, we can't forget the one that takes away, that literally takes the life of like firstborn children and things like that. Yeah, that's probably the worst. That's the worst out of all wars because of what it signifies. And it's really, I would say, like the plagues really take a toll of both Ramesses and on Moses. But it's not till he finally loses his son that his love turns into hate. And I got a confirmation of where like his hatred just came out of nowhere. Didn't just come out of nowhere. It was more so all the love he had for Moses was literally turned to hate the minute that his son had left him. It was just like we're not brothers anymore, but at the same time, I still had somewhat semblance of a little bit of love for you. And I think that's where the confliction for Ramesses comes from. But Ramesses has a duty, and he's going to stick to it no matter what. Moses has a duty, but he's going to stick to it no matter what because of his brother, and because of freeing his brother, his sister, and his people. And it wears on a person. I have to keep doing that. But let's see. So at this point in time, guys, I've talked a little bit enough right now, and I've kind of got a little bit of my thoughts out. Before I get to the ending part of this, I do want to invite you guys on up before I get to that. And Brother Vaughn, Wally, Devino, if you guys want to, like I said, the link is in the chat for anybody who wants to come in. I want to know your thoughts on this movie and why you love it. And give me your thought perspective of how you felt, and does it still hold up for you to this day? And guys, feel free, do not leave me hanging. You're welcome to come up here and say your own piece. I'm not gonna cut you off. I want you to know. I really want to know what you think. But let me get into the ending part while I wait for you guys to come on up. Yeah, do come on up. I'm just gonna get to the last part now. So, like I said, so Ramesses loses his son, and we all know the story of how this goes down. So he tells Moses that him and his people are free to go, and not really him, but his people are free to go, and so they set off to the land that God God has destined them to walk the path towards. And hello, Brother Vaughn, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, my brother?
I'm so glad you came up for this one. I was worried you wasn't going to show up, but
well, if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there, my friend.
I got you. Like I said, I'm just running up on this last part, and it's just and I think it's the part we all know, where they travel across the like I said, they travel all across the land to get as far from Egypt as far as they can, so they can inhabit their own land and live their own lives. And then we have Ramesses and his people chasing them because he decides to go after them because his loss is too great after his son's departing. And this is where we get like probably one of the most, I would say this, guys, it's not a combat feat. It's probably one of the greatest feats and miracles that God produced for Moses. God literally splits the sea for him. He parts the Red Sea. That's why they call it the Red Sea. And it's probably one of the most beautifully one of the most visual things I've ever seen, where somebody can just do this. But like I said, God was helping him the whole time, which I still love that behind his the creation of his wonders, what he said. And so they cross and everything, and you have Ramesses on their tail on the very last end, because he's like on the very, very top of this big huge cliff with his people. And so he chases them, and we all know they make it across in time, and Ramesses gets caught in the water and he gets stuck in an underwater cave somewhere. And you can literally, and this is the most important part too, at least these 2 to 3 parts that happen next. So he calls out both. Ramesses looks out into the sea, and Moses looks out to the sea, and Ramesses, wherever he's at in that little cavern, he literally calls out Moses' names, and this is where Moses says, "Goodbye, brother." And like I said, there's no hatred in Moses' mind or whatsoever. He is saddened, but he knows, he knows the burden and the duty that he carries for his people, because his people need to be free. And like I said, he knows the duty that he has to have. And by the end of the movie, his sister, his brother, and of course his wife, they're all with him, and they're free. Particularly now, Exodus does. Now I will say this: Exodus, the movie, since this is only Prince of Egypt we're talking about, but I do want to touch up on a little bit on Exodus. What Exodus does show extra stuff of a little bit that goes on. And I talked about this with Bolo TV when he was here. And what I like that was shown a little bit extra of that wasn't shown in Prince of Egypt was when he comes back to his wife and he said, these are my people and things like that. He starts writing down the New Testament for God, and God literally sits down and talks to him. I remember a point in time where we always did get along. Like you didn't talk to me or have love for me more often than not. And it's like, it's crazy how much I turn around. Like Moses and God are pretty much, he understands God, and he understands that he wants to write down his word because he loves him and he believes in what he's taught him. And it's just a really beautiful scene in Exodus. Now with Prince of Egypt, like I said, Prince of Egypt, that's not in there, but in Exodus, I like that because it's really showing the journey of like I didn't just rebel against you, or like we just didn't have good conversation. Hence why God said he came to him in the form of a boy and says like we always didn't get along like this, we never talked like this and things like this, but it took a while. And Moses smiles and he starts subscribing to the New Testament, and then you see him as an old man with his people traveling the lands, the Hebrews, and that's how that movie ends. But with this, you literally have the music. Prince of Egypt, you literally see him hug his brother, his sister, his actual blood family, and him being with his wife, and you see him walking towards the sunset, and they fade out, and that's the end of the movie. Now, Brother Vaughn, since I've said all I needed to say, brother, you are welcome to speak. I've spoken for 34 minutes and 43 seconds. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna talk quite that long, but
I
would definitely say that one of DreamWorks I really love that Prince of Egypt, how they went about doing it. Can you hear me? I'm
Yes,
not
sir. You
sure.
sound
Oh,
perfect.
okay, great.
Let me know if the music's too
And you
loud.
know,
I turned it down.
maybe just a smidget. I'm not sure, but not too much, but maybe a smidget loud.
All
But
right, there we go.
yeah, so DreamWorks. I mean, come on, man. My son growing up, they did Ants, and grew to love that because I watched that a million times.
Yo,
You
yeah, we
know,
did.
all of the Shrek movies, and Kung Fu Panda. These were things that when my son was growing up, that he frequently watched, and so I would sit and watch it with him. And
Hmm.
but yeah, man, great depiction of the story of Moses. You know, I love the way that they handled it and how they depicted it.
Hmm.
Um, in the beginning, how it shows how the slaves, are being treated.
Right, the
And it,
Hebrews.
it got to a point where, the Pharaoh was so harsh at the time, where they used mud, the water, and straw, to create these bricks.
Yep.
But then when things got out of hand, that Pharaoh said, "Hey, no, take away the straw, and just give them the water and the mud." And so you can understand that made the task even harder for them,
Harder.
you
Yep.
know. But there's another part that goes on where in this story, where Moses realizes that he's not an Egyptian, but he's a Hebrew,
Hebrew. Yep.
and
Yeah, and that's why I say I think that's one of the best scene. I can't believe I'm saying best scenes, but the realization of how they do it, and how
right,
important it is. When I said earlier,
yeah,
when I give you my description of that, like I
hmm
said, when he's singing, he seems trying to convince himself that he is Egyptian,
right,
and that's what I
right.
said with him singing is confliction.
Yeah, and
Ugh,
I
ugh.
like the way that they depicted that struggle that he was having. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's just like you finding out for the first time that, hey, I'm adopted. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? These aren't my real parents. You
Parents,
know,
exactly.
I'm really not this particular race or sect of people. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And so, just that struggle, how they depicted that, I thought that was excellent. And then he goes on and he ends up killing
A fellow
someone,
slave, a
and
fellow Egyptian
yeah,
slaver.
and,
That's
yeah,
what it
and
was.
then he ends up fleeing. Um, but one of my favorite parts of the whole story of Moses is when he first came in contact, you know, with the God
God.
of the Hebrews,
Yep.
and the burning bush. That whole scenario,
It's
man,
wonderful.
it's one of my favorite passages or parts in the Bible of that relationship of how he met God,
It
and
literally brought
how
tears in my eyes because whoever
and
did the voice to that, you really did convince me that you're actual God, like speaking to Moses literally right
yeah,
there.
it was done very well. You know what I'm saying? And but to know the fact that in the scriptures it talks about how he spoke with God, and but he had to go back because at that time there were a lot of different types of gods. You
There
know what I'm
were.
saying? And so people wanted to know what each god's name was. And so when Moses approached him that way, well, who do I tell the people who do I tell the people who you are? What's your name? And then he says that I
Yep.
am that I am. And I said, wow, when I was a young kid, I didn't understand that. That doesn't make
Same,
sense to
same with
me.
me, same with me, brother Vaughn.
I
Because
mean,
when I
what do
first
you mean
caught it,
I
I was like,
am
yeah,
that I am? But
right.
but when I got to know God a little better, I knew I understood it fully. It's like, listen, there's a name that I can't even name. All you need to know is just that I am. See
Yep.
what I'm saying? I exist. I am, that I am. And man, wow. So, but the story, man, listen, the story was great, when it got to the plagues. I know they left some of them out, but
There's some of them. They couldn't do all
yeah,
40
because, I
friggin'.
believe it was
There's a
10
lot more.
altogether. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
about 10 altogether.
Well, 10
But
in the end, but
yeah,
I think in the book is longer. Like I said, with
yeah,
Exodus, they did most of the play, but they didn't do all every single one.
right. And
But
then the whole situation of Moses approaching Pharaoh, because that's what I'll call him,
yep,
to try to convince him to let the people go. Let my people go. They don't deserve to be slaves. And so the rejection, you see what I'm saying? It's crazy for God to send you someplace to be rejected. Now, wait a minute, God, you told me to go here, but then his heart was hardened. Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and so that's why the rejection was there. And then here's a key thing. Here's a key thing about that whole scenario of what was going on with those plagues and how God was trying to send you messages. And even today, God sends us plenty of messages as to how we need to turn toward him. And we just reject it, and then we wonder why our situation becomes worse and worse and worse. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, but then when the worst thing happens, you see what I'm saying? Because you didn't get it with the water turned into blood, and you didn't get it with the frogs, and when he sent pestilence and lice and flies, and then even the people got so sick to where they had boils all over their bodies. Now listen, when it starts raining fire, I mean, seem like you ought to catch on at that point.
Yeah, that's what I said. Now, in Exodus they didn't do that, but within freaking the Prince of Egypt they did that. That's why I said when I said raining fire, I was like, yo.
Yeah. It's like, okay, come on, let the people go. But nevertheless, the Pharaoh's heart was hardened. But man, that whole death angel with the firstborn. When he came with that last one, and he said, hey, I don't care. No, I'm not doing anything. He said, hey, well, I'm trying to let you know, you're about to suffer something even greater, But even in that,
I did forget to mention that he went to go warn him about that because even in Exodus it's the same thing. He says something worse is coming, and
right, and even in that, even though God is about to throw down, he still is a God of protection. He will protect those who choose to follow him. You see what I'm saying? And he's very specific as to what we should do so that he can recognize us when he passes through. And so that's when he said, put the blood on the doorpost.
Yep,
because I'm about to kill. The firstborn. This is going to be the firstborn of everybody's house.
Everybody.
It's going to be deleted. But if I see the blood on your door, then I will pass over. You see? And so, man, let me tell you, and we sing a song today called The Blood Still Works. You see what I'm saying? Because it will never lose its power. And so, yeah, man, but then he gets to the point to where, hey, now your back is against the wall. See? More bills than money could pay. You see what I'm saying? You have absolutely nowhere else to turn now but to recognize. Sometimes God will put you in a pinch to where you have no choice but to recognize.
Yeah.
And so this is what happens. Now that he recognizes, he says, okay, well, you can go ahead and go. Go ahead and go. Let that get you and your people get out of here. You see? And then he changes his mind. Man, the devil is something else, man. I'm telling you, he's going to continue to come after you as long as you are trying to do what's right. But then the miraculousness of God, how when you get to the end of your rope, you see what I'm saying? And you feel like you can't hold on any longer. God, well, what are we going to do now? We're on land, but we're at the Red Sea. Here comes all of Pharaoh's army. There's no escape. There's no way out. And God says, well, use what's in your hand, right? Use what's in your hand. And so the Red Sea was parted, and they were able to pass through. And that whole scenario right there, I love the way in the animation how it showed the shadow of the whale. You know what I'm saying?
As like actual creatures that were still
that
was
so cool, man. That was so cool. But then we know the end part where Pharaoh's army, they get drowned in the Red Sea. And but great story, man. I mean, I watched it again today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh,
You know,
see,
because I hadn't
see,
seen it in a while. But
yeah, and that's why I said if you're gonna talk, yeah, I said if we're gonna talk about it, you're gonna kind of have to see it again. I always know it all. I know it too well because I've
yeah.
seen it a lot of times.
Oh
But
yeah, I have to.
but that's
It's
because
been
it's
a
so
while.
memorable. So I can't. So there's no way I could really forget anything in
Yeah.
there.
Well, I
But the
mean, and then,
songs and the
of course, if you
people.
read the scriptures, you can't forget too. But
Yeah, exactly. If you read Exodus,
yeah,
y'all, like literally.
but I love to see those stories depicted in the movies and
Yeah, Joseph
animation
King
or
of Dreams is
however
another
they
one.
do it. Yeah.
That's another one that the people. That one really broke me because of. I'll be honest. If Joseph turned out to be very angry and very bitter person of what his brothers did, I would not blame him. I would not.
Oh well, of course.
No, well, I'm being real, brother. Let's be real. Your own brothers sell you. Let's be real. That happens to any young boy who's full of such life, and I would say who's whimsical and really believes in the teachings of his dads. And then wait, your own family betray you and does that to you. And guys, by the way, this is I think I will do a Joseph King of Dreams one next. I gotta rewatch it again. I don't know how I'm gonna get past that movie because that one's gonna hurt more probably than this one.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's the story of Moses is probably one of my favorite, but that whole Joseph scenario, oh man, there's so many good nuggets in that.
Well, there's a lot of good lessons in there, but also some pain.
A lot of good lessons, man.
Yeah.
A lot of good lessons. So yeah, when you get ready to do that one, let me know.
Oh, definitely, sir. Like I said, I might do it next week. Who knows? I might I have to watch it over again. But like I said, it's gonna be hard to get through freaking when his brothers do to me because I'm pretty sure when I get to that part, I'm gonna be like, yo, I understand. Like the psyche of a good boy that can be broken. Like that's how you break good people right there when you do
that. But see the outcome of it all.
The outcome, now he did have some.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did still have something good waiting for him later on. But
it's just like it's kind of like right. It's kind of like how gold is. It's refined in fire. In order for it to get to that state of being gold and how we see it shining, it has to go through fire. It has to go through a process. And so it is with the story of Joseph, but man, yeah, I'm down for any of these conversations, man.
Oh, definitely, sir.
So many good lessons to share.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do Samson and Delilah. That's going to be
oh man, come on. We can just go through the Bible.
Yeah, we just go through the Bible at that point. But there was a live action they did. I can't remember what movie it was, but because I need to watch that whole thing over, and it's been so long. But there was a one where Samson is taking down 100 men and got him, and through the strength of his power, his strength comes from his hair, but God had helped him defeat those guys along with his strength and what he's been given. But and I think we know how he loses his hair from Delilah.
Was it Samson?
It was Samson.
He whooped a lot of people with the bone of an ass. I think was that him?
Yep, that's Samson. That's Samson.
Ah man, so many, man. Listen, so many good life-changing stories.
Right.
Is in that book.
The journey. I'll be honest. The journey of the young man that becomes a man. But I think it really. I think like the journey that these men really do go on. I guess in the Bible, I guess that in itself is powerful in the sense of like where like hard work comes from. Like why hard work is valued. Hence why Moses, he had a lot of work to do, but also like where he started off, you would think he had the life, but it's like no, not really, guys. And I'm like, to an extent, yes, but until you find out the truth and everything, then that's when the work comes in. Him being a shepherd and stuff, because that man was happy. Once he was a shepherd, he seemed a lot more happy, a lot more free, and he had his wife. Don't forget that. He also had his wife. Now, in Exodus, he didn't have any. In Exodus, he actually had his wife, but he had a little son. So I don't like I said, there's always a change on it, but but more so in prison, he just had his wife. He didn't have any kids yet. I think if he did have kids, he really would be like, okay, I need to get back to. I need to do this thing that God tells me to do. And I have to leave my wife and daughter, my wife and son here for a while. I'll come back to them after I've done what God wants me to do. and things like that. That's why I said I think it maybe hits you a little bit more, because whenever you're a father, I've always said if you're a father of a kid of any kind, that hits a little bit deeper, as opposed to you just being married to your lady. And of course, you don't want to leave her, but when the kid is involved, it's it's more.
It's different.
It's different. It's more heartbreaking, and it's more affliction. And it's just like I gotta set out to do what I have to do. I will come back for my wife and my kid. I will definitely do.
And another thing that I was so glad to see that DreamWorks did with this animation is because they did have a choice of where they could go with the characters and how they looked. But I'm so glad that they made them dark. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we we see the white
man,
Jesus.
Why did
we see the white Jesus?
Hebrews,
You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, these people, they're from Egypt. Where's Egypt at? Come on.
Yeah, we know where Egypt is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I'm glad that they depict the pigment and the darker color instead of versus making it look like a white character.
Right.
And so DreamWorks.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
I love their animation.
A lot of things had to go right for this, and the thing is, they had to get the Hebrew thing correct. All these different religions, all these cultures, they had to do all of that just to do it all right in an animated film. And I'm glad, and they did a really great job. And like I said, the voice actors did a really great job.
Everybody that did the voiceovers,
the voiceovers. I mean, I love Moses' voice.
The music score, the singing, the songs.
The music's fine. I said the music was a 10 out of 10.
Excellent.
Especially the one where, like I said, look at your life through heaven's eyes. That's one of the best ones for me. That's simply just Prince of Egypt. I like that one a lot.
I like them all. I like them all.
That one. Yeah, that one. Well, the reason why that one is because it's just like that's the song I would play if I finally had everything I would have. When it came to like a family of my own, I think I would play that song a lot.
And another aspect that I love about what DreamWorks did with this particular movie is they made it simple, for the children to understand the reality of the scriptures, and so this is a very good family movie to sit down, with your loved ones and your little nieces and nephews, and and sit down and say, hey, let's watch this. This is something I want you to learn from, and then you can discuss it at a later time and kind of shed more light on it.
Yeah,
but man, what made you pick this topic, Brother Jay? Because I think it's a very excellent topic that you chose for tonight.
Well, what made me pick it is because I'm going through my memories. This is one of the ones that actually, and guys, like I said, I was young when this happened. I was below 10, maybe like 8 years old, 8 to 10, and I remember watching this and I bawled out crying the first time when I was younger. This is what I had. I wasn't in control of my emotions at the time, but also I saw how beautiful this was, what Moses' journey was, and it made me cry what he went through.
Hey man, come on.
And
nothing wrong with that.
Happy, just like I said, just him being happy, being a shepherd, being married to the woman, quote unquote, that didn't like him, but really saw his effort and also his hard work of what her people taught him, and just look at what he did for his life. Like he was happy. He was happy, genuinely happy. And anytime I see that scene where he's just laying down with the sheep, it's beautiful. I'm gonna be real. I don't know how the hell did a man and a sheep made me feel something. He made me feel some type of way. You're gonna have
the concept, because you know what, you're in charge over. You have a responsibility, And
he took it seriously. He did his job, definitely.
Yeah, and you have to know what you're doing. You have to have some type of education of how to treat and deal with these animals. You know what I'm saying? And man.
I mean, sheep may seem dumb, but they're not. They're not. It takes a lot of skill to get them to follow you, to do all this stuff, and just to lead the herd the way you're supposed to.
Now you got.
That's crazy how I say that.
I don't know. You don't have any moderators, but you got bots in your chat.
Don't worry. I got this, man. I don't know.
I know you got it. I know you got it, bro.
No, not in timeout. Just block the freaking user. Get out of here. I don't want you in here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get that crap. Yeah, you get that crap out of here.
Yeah, man. But I just wanted to get up and, kind of, be a part of the conversation. I
Oh no,
knew
brother,
early.
well,
I
I'd love
knew,
to have you
yeah,
up here.
yeah. I knew early that you were, you had expressed that you were going to be talking about this topic.
Hmm.
So I kind of made a little bit of time to kind of go over that movie again today, just so that I could, discuss it with you. But man,
No, thank you for
excellent,
doing that.
excellent.
I'm glad you've seen it again twice. Like I
Oh,
said,
I've
I
seen it
haven't
more
watched.
than twice. I've seen it
Well,
way
well,
more than
actually, I think we've all seen it more than twice and stuff.
twice.
But I'm talking about because it's always going to be a movie I'm going to revisit, especially when I have kids of my own. I would definitely like to watch it.
Exactly.
I'm going to watch it
Yeah.
with them, obviously, because this is
Oh
something
yeah. Yeah.
this is, I think, when they're of a particular age, I want to watch it with them when they turn 8 or 10, and I want them to really understand.
Oh yeah.
And really understand at the time that I went through this, so they can actually learn, what's good, what's bad, but also, what it is in a sense beautiful are the connections that you make, and hence, I know, because I actually wanted to know your thoughts on this. Hence, I did really believe that they were brothers, more so to a sense, even though they weren't related and they're not family.
Oh, you're talking about the relationship
between
between
Pharaoh
the
and
prince
Moses.
and Pharaoh. I mean, the prince and Moses, right?
Moses and Pharaoh, yeah, Pharaoh.
Yeah,
Even though they
yeah.
call him
Oh,
Ramesses in the movie,
yeah,
I still do like that because it's like
yeah.
they acted like brothers towards one another. One would get
Well, they had a bond. I mean,
get
come
themselves
on, you
into
could
trouble,
imagine that. Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah, you could imagine they had a bond.
oh, definitely. That bond
Especially
was
if they
real.
if they grew up together like that,
Yeah.
and then to come to find out, well, wow, you know, everything that I knew about my life is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? That confuses a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
it does.
So yeah,
And also, like I said, that's why I said, like, it may have ended, but you'll never forget the connection you have with that person, is what I'm saying. Even though you have to move on from them, and you have to be your own, I can't say man or woman, but be your own person, and venture out and do what you have to do. So that's another lesson that thing had recently taught me again after rewatching again after all this time. I'm like, be my own person. And I understand, like I said, if they can understand and respect that, which Pharaoh didn't, but if Pharaoh was a reasonable person, he'd be like, I may not like what you're on, but at the same time, I respect your choice. Do what you do. I'm not talking about if we rationalize them, but like just more so if he was of a person of understanding, then it'd be like, I'd be like, I'm happy for you. I'm not with that, but this is who you are, so I understand and respect that. That's what an actual civilized person, we're not with all these nonsense over worshiping me as a god nonsense, come into play. Because he says like God speaking to you is ridiculous, but everybody worshiping me and building statues in my name and thinking I'm a god is not ridiculous. That's what this connection is, and when it comes to that, Pharaoh and Moses and that. But that reason why I've always loved Moses' story is because of how he started to where he ended. And like I said, the brother had a mission to do. He did it, but also he managed to be a part of his brother and sister's life again, which that took some time to really forgive him. Which we don't want to. I don't want to undersell their performance either because they did a really great job. Eric, that was his name. His older brother's name, Eric. Took me a minute to remember, but yeah, Miriam. That's his. I've been known his sister's name. Hers is the easiest to remember. It's the brother Eric.
And then I wish they could have went more into the relationship that Moses had with Aaron. You know what I'm saying? And how he, was very reluctant to speak. God, who am I to go and tell these people this and that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because you're making more workload for them because of
Pharaoh, and kind of Aaron had become at some point his mouthpiece, I believe.
Right. And the thing is, it takes a while. It took a while for him to like patch things up with them and things like that. Which that's why I like the end of the movie where they accept each other as family. They hug one another, and it's like, sorry. And it's just like, I love y'all. Like I said, I love y'all a lot. I know I wasn't part of your lives, and you're right. I could have did something earlier.
Well, they did a great job.
But I don't think I'll say this. I think that version of him who left Egypt at the time, he could have done anything at the time until he had to go what he had to go through in order to come back to do what he needed to do. That's why I said the journey is important. You can't skip anything. You need to go through what you need to go through in order to become the person you need to be in order to do the task what is asked of you.
Exactly.
And that's how I see that. Because
Yeah,
otherwise, that wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have worked. He couldn't have done anything at that time.
Well, you know,
He wouldn't have been reformed. I think he still would have been conflicted. It wouldn't have been as clear cut as it is. That's what I think.
well, we all have a purpose, you know, and the point is, let's try to figure out what that purpose is. You know, all of us may not be a Moses, you know, per se, but at the same time, there is something that we are designed to do while we're here, you know, and let's figure what those things are, you know, and try to be about it, doing it, you know.
No, definitely. And Brother Vaughn, before I end this, I will say this. Moses is probably, and it might be the first time you guys ever heard me say this, I think he was my favorite in the Bible, more often my favorite character in the Bible, because of, like I said, what he went through and also what he became.
Exactly.
So and technically, I will say this, to anybody who is a hardcore Bible reader to the T, it is kind of unfair because he did get his animated before anybody else, and it really is unfair because he technically got his first movie animated over everybody in the Bible first, and then Joseph and other variations of that, like David and things like that. So let's just be real. So he kind of got a leg up over everybody in the book because his is animated. I said, because we get to see it through a visual lens,
exactly,
not just through our minds. So that's why I said it's kind of unfair. But hey, man, I'm glad they got his first.
Well, he's part of how it all began. So you know what I'm saying.
New Testament and everything.
And then here we are, you know. So yeah, man.
So if there were, and I'm gonna say right now, guys, if you guys know any more animated films besides this one and Joseph King of Dreams, please let me know and I will check them out, and I will definitely give them a watch, and I'll even do a discussion on them. Depending on what it is, I will definitely do it. Because, like I said, there might be some ones I don't know about, but I do. There is no animated movie version of Samson and Delilah. There's no. I would have seen that by now. There's a live action one. Yeah, there's a live action.
Another great story. Yeah, that's another great story, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when it comes to how men are relating to women, and what are some of the things that can occur if you're not careful?
That might fit. That actually,
and not only that, but the do's and the don'ts as well. You know what I'm saying? Samson is a very good story of that. I would love to see that one depicted. You know, I've seen some movies about Samson and Delilah. They were very old films. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't seen anything like recently
made, or like, and I guess in
I haven't seen anything.
There's something
like
on
recent.
YouTube if you look it up now, and it's like it literally shows the scene of Samson beating these 100 men, literally.
Yeah.
And just being willed to beat them. Yeah. And I saw that scene, but I don't know if it's I think it's a part of a movie because of how they had it done. Because it wouldn't look like no fan thing somebody made it look like it was actually like a production was made into this. But but definitely, sir. We can I will do Joseph King of Dreams next. It's gonna like I said, it's gonna hit me a little bit hard because, like I said, I'm gonna feel for that character because, like, what his brother's doing to him, I swear to you to this day, bro.
But this is a reality. This is a reality. You know, the sibling rivalry that we are still experiencing today. You would be surprised at how many brothers and sisters you know that you would think should be loving each other are at each other's throats, literally.
Like your actual
at
sibling,
each other's throats. You see, and I'm the only child, so all of growing up, I was around people with big families, and I never could understand. Man, I wish I had a brother and sister. I would not treat them like you're treating yours. And why is it that you guys don't get along? I don't get it. I would love to have a brother and a sister. But man, listen, when they get to going to blows, especially when you become an adult, I mean, man, how many siblings have killed each other? How many siblings have set each other up to fail? I mean, yeah.
Well, Brother Vaughn, there is the this is actually based on real life. There's what is it called? The Hatfields McCoy miniseries. That's what it is. The two families in Appalachia that kept offing each other.
Like a family
The
feud.
feud is what it was. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And I told my friend, like, he asked me, Jay, do you care for westerns? I said, I don't particularly care for westerns. I have nothing against westerns, but I won't go out of my way to watch them. And he told me, yo, Jay, just watch the Phillips McCord series. You're completely unknown to it. You'll I'm not saying like the few, but you'll get into it. I'm like, okay. And it's just like, and I said, that's not crazy shit. Well, family just are just what? Just a family feud, and it just carries on. And he's like, yeah. And he said, just give it a watch, and then you tell me what you think. I'm like, yo. And when I watched it, I was like, wow. and it's like as if my stepbrother and sister and things like that, like they did nothing but argue one another, like constant. I wanted nothing to do with them either. I'm like, yo, you guys are all terrible, man. I can't get along, even when you're older.
But then when you look at that story, Brother Jay, you know, it comes around full circle, because he never really lost love for his brothers, you know, and they figured out that they loved him too as well. It
was more so how they did them. But I mean, what they did to him specifically,
and it's because of jealousy,
and things like that.
People are
they did it because of jealousy. So he had no jealousy in the start.
Exactly.
He was just following the ways of what his dad wanted him to be. You know, you're Joseph, you're the prophet, you're all this son. Like, you know, you're loved by your family. Just you have to just follow what Lord tells you to do and things like that. And you know, the jealousy was a good. Oh, I don't want to spoil the talk or whatever, but jealousy was a good part of what they did, and it wasn't. I'll tell you what, it takes a lot to forgive somebody. It really does. It really does.
And you know, forgiveness is a process
too. And that's why I said, if he doesn't forgive you, that's on you guys because of what you did. And I think that's fair to him to allow him to feel that way and come to that conclusion and be like, I don't hate you anymore, but I don't forgive what you did to me. Even though it put me in a position to help our family, which I did still do or help and whatever. I like, if he would have said that, even though it would have been like, oh, that's sad. He could have had them be slaughtered. Be glad that just happened. Because he could have took it to the next level. And rightfully so. Said it towards them, because it's like, because to me, what I would have done. I've always said the lesson that you see in media, Brother Vaughn, when they say walk a mile in each other's shoes, or like, you know, what goes around comes around. So if you do dirt to somebody, don't be surprised when that gets done to you. That's the lesson you're going to learn exactly what he learned, or maybe you not, what you saw, or you go through the same experience he went through. Right. And I've always said that's more of a realization. Like, this is what my brother had to go through. This is what we put him through. Like, what the heck, man?
I think you have somebody in the back, Jay. I'm not sure.
Oh, hold on.
Somebody wrote something back there.
Oh, John, I'll let you on up. Give me a second, brother. Yeah, sorry about that. I see him. I'm sorry, bro. I was busy talking. It's my fault. But,
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, John. I can hear you. But yeah, John, thanks for coming up. We're gonna get ready to end this anyway. But I will get a chance to speak with you soon. And the thing is with that, Brother Vaughn, like I said, when we do King of Joseph, I don't want to spoil such a good conversation yet, because I'll say that for next week is what I'll do, because I'll make one for that. The thing is, like I said, there's a lot of lessons that we take from there, similar to Moses and the thing like that. But trust me, it's gonna. I think that might be like an hour and 15 minutes, because that's a lot of talk about Joseph's journey. Because Joseph's journey,
there's so many great nuggets. You know, there's so many great gems in that story. You know, and even if you want to go to the scriptures and even get more thorough with your research, but definitely a very good passage of scripture to learn. And like I said, it's very thought-provoking. You know, it's very insightful. You know, it's got so much goodness in there. You know, even though the story is rough and it's hard, but Man,
But that's
lot of things that you can pull away from that whole Joseph scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's why I think I personally resonate with the story a little bit more because like I said, it's really trial and tribulations and really through can you lose yourself to what has happened to you because it's like I said, it's hard to come back from something like that. It's I'll say extremely hard. It's not just I don't want because people just put out the word hard like it's just hard. Like, no, this is really, really extremely hard because of where I'm at and where I'm locked in at. So, but guys, we're not gonna drink on that conversation. We're gonna wait next week to talk about it because I don't want good points to be. I'm probably gonna make great points in here that I can't use in the next video. I'm not gonna do that because I need to say them because I want to build up the case. So, but all in all, y'all, please check out Prince of Egypt, guys. It's one of the most awesome creations from DreamWorks. Please give it a look. And also, I need to watch Sinbad over again. I love Sinbad. Sinbad was really good. That's another DreamWorks jewel right there. Even though it's not based. Yeah, Sinbad's not based on the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. It's not. It's just that the journey of that character of what he stands for. And his character really spoke to that woman in that movie. But like I said, that's another one we're gonna cover. But we're gonna do Joseph King of Dreams next Wednesday. We're gonna do that one. Me, Brother Vaughn, and have hopefully some other cats will be on, and we'll talk about that one too. Because I think Brother Curse wants to talk about that one too. I think the Joseph one.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think like I said, we'll do that next week, and then maybe the week after we'll probably do Sinbad more often than not. I'll do that one out of pure joy, even though that's like I said, I know that's not Bible related. I know Sinbad's not Bible related. Because
everything is not Bible related, and that's okay.
Well, I'm not saying it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's no character called Sinbad in the book. That's what I'm saying.
But there's some episodes of Law and Order that I could learn from. You see what I'm saying? So.
hey, listen, Brother Vaughn, I only learn from Special Victim Unit because that's the best one.
Yeah, that's the man. That's it.
Yo, I randomly came to that conclusion, and no one had to tell me that Special Victim Unit was the best one. I'm like, dude, clearly they do They explain everything. They do all this. What you gonna say, John?
Yeah, I said I used to watch Law and Order from the 90s. I used to watch in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, trust me, all our parents, everybody's parent watches Law and Order. Let's be real. Your dad, your mom, all y'all watch that.
Yeah, I fall asleep to Law and Order. Just about every night. I just put on the reruns and then I, doze off.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, listen, that'll do it, man. All that explanation do put you to sleep sometimes. It's either that, and listen, it's either that or it's either that or CIA.
I wouldn't suggest that for everybody to fall asleep to that, but
why?
I've grown accustomed to it. So, me and my wife, we love Law and Order. Oh my God!
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with falling asleep to it. I'm saying, like, if you watch it enough and you know some of the episodes, I'm like, all right, then you can fall asleep to it.
Yeah, exactly. Just listen to it.
Yeah, but yeah, man, like, the people who make that, trust me, man, they go hella in deep discussion about detail about what goes on and everything. They cover every little bit so that you're watching it, that you're not missing a beat when it comes to that. Some of the CIA, I'm just like, you gotta really be on your A game when you watch it. What's up, John?
Yeah, I was gonna say congratulations on the 200.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for congratulating me, man. Like I said, I still got work to do. I'm gonna see if we can try to get to 300 by the end of this year, so we can try to get get to the next level. So, but I got a lot of work and I got a lot of people to draw into this channel. So hopefully, like I said, I do great. I will be putting in the work.
Well, Jay, listen, it looks like we have the same barber.
Oh, we do? Yeah, I know. Nice and clean, right? Hey, man, listen, like I said, no hat today, man.
That's good. That's all right, man.
I clean shaved it and all that.
Yeah.
And also, I do this, and sometimes, like I said, people really see me out here bald, with a clean shave every now and then. So, so they know that, like, yo, guys, like, I'm bald, but I'm muscular. I got myself in good shape. And, hey, man, being bald is beautiful. Because now I got my hair falling out.
Exactly. It's easy. It's easy. Yeah. But man, listen, thank you, brother, for for having me up tonight. And I look forward to the next time we can get together and maybe perhaps talk about the Joseph story.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna listen. We're gonna do it. Sorry about that. We're gonna do it next Wednesday if you're down for that, and it's gonna be around the same time, like at least 8:30ish, like 8:35ish, which with the same time I had it with this one, and I'll set it up. Like I said, I gotta rewatch it again. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've seen it because I want to make sure I don't skip anything in that one. So because I think you can watch it on YouTube for free. So I'm just gonna watch it through there. And then after that, I'll get the thumbnail and stuff ready, and then I'll set it up for next Wednesday, and then we can talk about that one. Because I think, like I said, there's a lot of life lessons in there we can learn, and also some people might relate to Joseph's journey too. But all in all, brother, thanks for coming on up. I love that you shared your thoughts and your knowledge, and also, hey, listen, and Vaughn, what was the best part about this discussion? No men bashing, no woman bashing, just men here talking about something that can,
something
really,
other than that.
Other than that propaganda bullshit they put around. And like I said, we don't do that here. Like I said, it's peaceful over here. We chill.
Yeah.
We just here
I appreciate that, brother. I truly appreciate that.
Oh, definitely, man. And like I said, I love hearing what you have to say personally, because I'm thinking you got a lot of wisdom somewhere in there. So
I know a little
really
something. I know a little bit,
Yo, you remind me of my brother a lot sometimes. Like one of my brothers, because he's funny, but he says really like surprisingly.
I know a lot.
Impactful things. I don't know how he gets there, but he does it, and it's just like, yeah, you're my brother for a reason. I know.
Yes, sir.
He says the right things when he needs to, that I take, and then I listen, and then I take the lessons with me, and then after that I think about it for a few days, and I'm like, what he said definitely made sense, and I'm like, yeah. I'm not reluctant to hear him. It's just like, how he gets there. It's just like,
yeah. Okay. It's a process.
It's a process.
But listen, I learned a great deal from you all too, because I like to hear, what it is that you're going through and how you're getting through it. You know what I'm saying? And what your methods are, And so I learned a great deal as to how to communicate, with the younger generation. So don't think for a minute think for a minute that I'm not learning something from you all, because I listen to what you're saying.
And we listen to you because we really, like I said, because we try to learn. We're trying. I'll be honest. It's not like cheating, but it's like I'm trying to learn much from the old school cats, so that y'all can help. So I can take whatever y'all went through, and y'all can help me not to make that mistake. Try to reel me in, so I don't fall off that cliff. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes,
I'm technically might be using y'all for a scapegoat in that sense, but I mean, if you want to see it that way. I'm not, but I'm just trying to really gain some wisdom and some knowledge.
And nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I don't want to be ignorant. I'm just being real. Like I tell people, listen,
exactly.
I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to live life like that. But sir,
what's up, brother Wally?
Wally Washington.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much.
Maybe a little Wally. Can't hear you.
Said nothing much. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you sound better now. Now I can hear you.
So I put my phone closer. That's why.
Oh, okay. He said a lot of analysis to cover your channel to know what you're working with.
Hey, Ron.
But yeah, me and Brother Vaughn went in on this. I'm glad we made it. We stretched it out to like 55 to about an hour. Like I said, guys, be ready for Joseph King of Dreams next Wednesday. I know Brother Vaughn's got to go because he got a life. I'm gonna be here in the backstage in case anybody wants to come up and talk. Wally will be here because I got to speak to him in the back, and of course, John, I need you here too.
John is trying to tell you something.
John, what's up? John?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
I think he wanted to ask me a question.
Okay.
I think he wanted to ask me a question. I'm not sure.
I didn't kick him out. I swear to you.
That's all right. He'll pop back on.
Yeah, he'll probably most likely pop back up. But guys, thanks for tuning into this. And like Like I said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And also, if you have any not movies, but if you have any particular type of mediums you want us to cover, just leave them in the chat here, or leave them in the comments of this video. Trust me, I will definitely check it out, and I will definitely give it a review. And then and who knows? Like I said, I'll be reviewing it soon. But all in all, y'all have a great night, and he popped back up. But like I said, y'all have a great night, and this has been Jay Takashi, my man Wally, and the wise Sir Von Bryan. Trust me, he really gives great advice, and he has he's Morgan Freeman's brother, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, right.
He has that
I think the brother's in the back now. He just put something up that he's back.
Okay, don't worry. Yo, John, just stay in the backstage for me, because if you have a question for Vaughn, he'll answer it before he goes.
I'll stick around. Yeah, or
okay.
If he wants to come up. Or...
Oh no, definitely, I'm gonna have him up. Oh, hold on. But yeah, guys, like I said, be sure to like and subscribe, and y'all have a great night.